Anywhere you say, anywhere you say, anywhere.
All right, welcome. Good evening, everybody. I was kind of flip-flopping like a fish on a grill if I was going to do this little short stack with you all. If you don't know, it's 60 frames, no lag tonight, 8:15, 8:30 Eastern time, 5:15, 5:30 West Coast time. So we should all be on there today. It does sound like it. We'll be all cammed up and everything. Well, at least I will be. Got to break out the new nerd glasses possibly this evening. Wanted to just kind of touch base with you all and just kind of reiterate, and this popped up in my thread or feed or however you all want to say it, and I really wanted to go over it, and I'm really going to address a handful of people here. One, I won't say their name because there's some other stuff going on with them, kind of, personally, there's some things going on. I'll simply say just keep some people in your prayers. But I want to really give a big shout out to a guy that I personally enjoyed listening to, that I enjoyed being around, that I had the pleasure to get to know, and that was Optimus Code. He was a YouTuber, and he passed away, but he passed down a lot of knowledge. So I think a lot of people, not just me. I don't want to make it sound like I was, the only guy he was talking to. But he said something to me that once I accepted it, I was able to just kind of put more things in perspective online and personally. And what he said to me was that two things can be true at the same time. And that's what I'm going to have to deal with tonight and what I have seen. And I'm just saying, you don't have to, you can just, if you want to count this out as the rantings of an old 48-year-old man, that's perfectly fine. 47. I'll be 48 in like 75 days, right? So, and we will have a dono war for a 40, what is it called? Y'all called it? A new CPU, 5600X or something like that. So, so I'm going to start off by saying the most obvious thing, which is the console war is over. And that is going to come to a lot of people within the PlayStation community and in the Xbox community as a shock. as something that I thought I would really never have the chance to say and mean. Said it jokingly before. Maybe I didn't want to believe it was over, but it's over. And I'll just tell you a little story that I wrote this little short story down called 1993. And what I said was, if I built a time machine and I went back and saw myself in 1993, and I said, I'm you in 2024, and I'm going to tell you some of the things that we have. We're going to have a device that you can just have in your pocket. It's going to be smaller than the Walkmans that are out, and it's going to hold all your content. It will be able to tell time. It will be able to take your heart rate and be able to take your pulse heart rate, oxygen, blood pressure, play music, play games on it, and it's going to be this in the size of your and it's going to be the size of your hand. And the way this technology works is through the discovery of Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi, which has been around since Tesla, I believe. You're going to be able to do all this on one device. So you won't have to have, huge music devices and things like that. The headphones that you have will be digital headphones. All this analog stuff will be gone. There will be a giant space station hovering the Earth. We'll be able to launch rockets and then land them back on Earth. Not splash them down in the water, but land them on Earth. If I were to say that to myself in 1993, 94, that sounds crazy. That sounds like magic. Now, what do I mean? Now, where am I going with this? The console war is over. 42 months ago, the Xbox Series X and S, along with the PlayStation 5, launched. Before it launched, we heard talk about 12 T-flops and 52 CUs. That's all we heard about. If you went back in time, if you saw the Xbox showcase and you heard Phil Spencer speak publicly, okay, this isn't leaked information. This doesn't come from Nate the Hater, Nate the Great, or all these other clowns, Shinobi, Tom Henderson, Tom Warner, Tom, Thomas the Train, whatever, okay? That Phil Spencer would have lost control of. Now we're going back in time to 2020. We're going back 42 months. And you say to yourself 4 years ago, 42 months ago, Phil Spencer is going to lose control of Xbox. It's going to be taken over by Microsoft, and Microsoft is going to start putting the games they have on all platforms. And also, in the next 40 months, Microsoft is going to buy the publishers of Activision, and they're going to buy Bethesda. Okay. And remember, this is when you're standing in line at wherever you went, Best Buy, GameStop, wherever you did to go get your PlayStation. Yourself 4 years from now comes back and tells you that you're going to say you're out of your damn mind. And guess what? It sounds crazy. It sounds magical. What happened to 52 CUs and 12 T-flops and everything looking and running better? Well, what happened is Sony outperformed them. That's what happened. That's what happened. And because that was happening, that forced Microsoft to go out and spend an absorbent amount of money. Over $80 billion spent buying two publishers. And Phil Spencer didn't just go to the bank and get that money. He went to Satya Nadella. He went to the CFO. He went to the COO and got that money. Now they got to pay the devil his due. And Phil Spencer has come out and he has said they're going to be putting games on all platforms. Now, did Xbox have a good show? Yes, they did. But 50% of what they showed is going to be on PlayStation. Again, two things being right at the same time. It's okay to admit Microsoft had a good show. They did, because they did. Now, I'm going to read, this is from Mike Ybarra on his X or Twitter. You got the blue sticker, blue check mark, okay? So I'm going to read what this says, because this represents what gamers like myself and Optimus Code had been trying to tell people. King Thrash had been trying to tell people, which is, we'll start at the top left. I feel great about the show and the strategy Phil is talking about in the press. The press meaning he was talking to Ryan McCaffrey, okay? Says, as Phil said in an interview, more and more of their games will go to more platforms. He's obviously referring to PlayStation and Nintendo. Being the world's largest publisher, which Microsoft is now, of great games everywhere is the foundational goal they must embrace. They must make great games that sell and drive player interest on every platform. The games are the platform going forward and the social graph. So meaning that the Xbox exists through its software, the games, okay? Not the hardware, not 12 T flops and 52 CUs and 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, whatever. No, that's over with. This is what he's saying in that one. He has 3 main articles, and he closes it out. The second paragraph says, look, now he's addressing the Xbox community. Now he's about to address the fanboys of Xbox. Okay? It says, look, I get hardcore Xbox console fans want exclusives and want Xbox hardware to rule them all. Having worked on many Xbox consoles myself, he's talking about himself here, I admit I have mixed emotions on it. I love Xbox. Okay. That's him. That's emotion, right? He loves it. Love is an emotion. You have to put emotion aside and focus on the teams, players, and business. TPB. And make hard decisions. Given the size of Microsoft Gaming now, again, biggest publisher in the world, it's just not sustainable to not be embracing all platforms. This represents, again, he's talking about the vision that he's seeing. They are taking their players in this journey, and that is not easy. Henceforth, they sacrifice all their exclusives. That was the cost of them doing what they're doing. But this is the right plan for their team and their players. Now he starts to talk about himself, and then he's going to give his opinion. Says, I have no insider information, but I wouldn't do hardware directly going forward. Now, we talked to you all about this, about how we don't think Microsoft's done making consoles. On King Thrash's podcast, when he and Draco Royal interviewed me, he flat asked, was this going to happen? I told him yes. But let's continue. Okay? You have tons of third-party hardware companies making PC handhelds. He's talking about the Aces, what's it called? The ROG, I think that's what it's called, and the Steam Deck, okay? He's talking about that. And Sony is Sony has the Portal, which is kind of a prelude to their handheld. Nintendo already made Switch. And they're going to do Switch Part 2. So he says, embrace them and focus on making great games while making Windows good on these devices. It's a ton of work here. So again, this is going to guarantee people jobs because they need Windows support on these platforms. Microsoft is good at this. He's right about that. They are very good at that. Says they might do their own PC device, but in my humble opinion, I think that's what IMHO means, it will be expensive and low volume. Maybe selling a 600, 800 handheld is smart, but I wouldn't do it. So he's just giving his opinion because he says even though they make this, even though he's saying they make this device, okay, their own PC device, that would be like their next Xbox, okay? It's not going to sell well. That's pretty much what he's saying in his opinion. And he says too much distraction, cost, and risk. Focus the entire organization on games and getting your subscription on PlayStation and other devices. I keep telling people, I said this years ago, that PlayStation eventually will accept Game Pass. They are. It's just, that's the way things are stacking and the way it's going. Which emotion aside is what players at scale will eventually do. Meaning that if you have 500 PlayStation gamers, 400 of them will accept Game Pass on PlayStation. 100 are going to be upset. But you're scaling. If you're going to get, 4 out of 5, the hell with the 100. That's the way business is. You take emotion out of it. Now, he goes on to say, exciting times for gamers everywhere. Again, gamers everywhere. Not fanboys, gamers. All right? And I wish all of the platform holders and publishers great success. Most of all, as a player. Again, a player. A gamer and a player, not a fucking fanboy. The future of gaming looks bright, and I am very happy about that. So he, gives a heart, gives a thumbs up, salute. And again, I cannot disagree with anything he said. Now, everything he said here is against every fucking fanboy that's out there. All of them that are still talking about the console war. There is no damn console war. It doesn't exist anymore because Microsoft has bent the knee. Sony is the alpha dog. Again, two things can be true at once. I've actually talked to people that are gamers in the PlayStation community, and they're like, yeah, they would like to see Gears of War, Forza Horizon, Halo come over so that and they would buy. I said, would you buy it? They said yes. Now these are gamers. These aren't fucking fanboys. No, I won't stop the foul language. And because the gamers have won out, these fanboys are searching for a fight. Now they're trying to turn on Sweet Baby Inc., which has nothing to do with ham and eggs. These fanboys, again, they attacked the Star Wars Outlaws game months ago when they saw an alpha build running. And again, remember we saw gameplay of that alpha. Oh, the girl's ugly. Oh, the frame rate's buggy. Again, and then they get upset when they don't get demonstrations. Why would we give you a demo? Why would anybody give your ass a demo if all you're going to do is complain like a woman? And again, women look like that girl that's in the Star Wars game. That's the way women look. But like these guys, like I said on Twitter, these guys wouldn't know what to do with the titty if it smacked them twice on Tuesday. Like they wouldn't know what to do with it. Like they opened their door and there was a titty there. They wouldn't know what to do with the titty. They wouldn't know. So they attacked the Star Wars game. Now it's like, oh, the game looks good. It was always going to look good. Disney is not going to license its product out through Lucas Games for you to make a piece of trash game. But these guys aren't getting what they want, and this is important. This is why I am glad that Sony has pissed off the fanboys. I don't care that the fanboys are complaining. The reason the fanboys are complaining is because they're not getting what they want. They also tried to piss all over Fable. The girl's ugly. And again, you're looking at an alpha model. Let that machine learning and algorithms kick in so they can clean it up. You're not going to get demonstrations if you keep attacking what's out there. You're just not. So in one podcast, they will say they need to do more demos, and then they trash the demos. The demos are going to be late alpha builds, maybe a few early betas. They did it with Destiny years ago. All right? So fuck these fanboys, all right? I remember buying Destiny and getting an alpha build. And I'm like, man, this is trash. I don't like this. But then the beta came out. I'm like, all right, this is better. This is the natural progression of the game, right? And these fanboys aren't getting what they want. Sony is, you all were concentrating on what Sony's doing to the PC community, and they are making the PC community their bitch. They are. They're making those guys their bitch. However, they're doing the same thing to the Sony fanboys as well. The fanboys are the ones that are complaining because they're not getting what they want. And here's what they want. They wanted Bloodborne Part 2, which again, I don't know why, because all you do is hit the triangle. They want Days Gone Part 2. And they wanted something, The Last of Us Factions, because they didn't get those three things. They're out here throwing a fit. And again, two things can be true at once. The gamers are getting what we want as gamers, which are we're getting games. And the fanboys are getting the shaft. Two things being true at once. They're not wrong for thinking they're getting the shaft, because they're getting the shaft. Not only did Microsoft end the console war, Sony went in there and backed them up. Microsoft come on with the 1-2, and then Sony came in with that tiger uppercut, and it was over with. So now these cats that have been console warring since the PS3. Let me see here. Alexa, when did PlayStation 3 come out? Let's see here.
The Sony PlayStation 3 was released in the North American market on November 17, 2006, making the device 18 years old.
Okay, these guys have been console warring for 18 years. I kid you not. So imagine console warring for 18 years and now it's gone. I'm a Star Trek fan, so this is the Undiscovered Country. And if you watch the Undiscovered Country, there was a conspiracy because the armies were no longer going to be needed. They went out to try to cause a war so that they would be needed. And that's what these guys are doing. They're actively trying to search for shit to talk about now. And remember, I told you that's what was going to happen. Remember, I sat right here on this podcast and I said, once this thing ends, these guys are going to struggle for content. I have no issue with content. I can do politics. I can do manosphere. I can do UFOs. I can do ancient astronaut theory. I can do it all. Or I can just sit here and play Mass Effect and stream it. Shout out to the people who are watching the Mass Effect streams, by the way. And these guys are literally, I was listening to somebody today, and I won't say who it is because there's some other issues going on, literally saying that the state of the console war is, and that there is no console war. It's over. Again, if somebody had told you when you were standing in line, where you were in the cold, the heat, or rain, or in pain, trying to get a PlayStation or an Xbox that, hey, in 42 months, Xbox is going to start putting first-party games on PlayStation, you would have said you're nuts. And guess what? You would have been in your right mind to say that. You would have been in your right mind to say it. And it's okay to say it. Yeah, I'm going to do a Thunder Thursday coming up. I promise. So I'll do one on Thursday. Matter of fact, I'll do it on the 20th. I'll schedule one for the 20th. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's do one on the 18th. Because I'm off the next day. So I'll do a Thunder Thursday on a Tuesday. So because these fanboys aren't getting what they want, they didn't want Concord. They wanted factions. They're still posting stuff about Days Gone. I don't get it. Can somebody explain to me what the hell was so good about Days Gone? It was okay. It was okay after the first act. I'm like, yeah, this actually didn't turn out to be a bad game. I gave that game a C+. Sony already has a studio that makes a zombie game. That's all you did. It was fun throwing Molotov cocktails and, getting on the motorcycle and all that kind of stuff. But, that doesn't make the game good. And you never change clothes. I don't know what was so good about factions. But they, instead of getting, again, they screamed about, we need to see Concord. We need to see Concord. But I thought they wanted to see Concord because they wanted to actually see the gameplay. They wanted to see it so they could console war. And then they did not. And then they did not. It's not what they wanted because they wanted factions. Again, I'm going to stand over here and I'm going to sit here in this bush, and then you can go over there and shoot that guy behind that bush over there. And if I get stabbed, you need to come over and give me a healing potion. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. People had said that Concord was a cross between I can't think of that game. Damn, the name of that game. It was Guardians of the Galaxy, and what's the name of that damn game? Overwatch. They literally said that's what it was going to be, and guess what? That's exactly what it is. Because the Overwatch characters had their own little stories, so do these characters. It's a direct carbon copy. Yeah, this is their version of Overwatch. But because it's not what the fanboys wanted, they're Sony. They're fanboys when they say Sony needs to respond. Sony has responded. Rise of Ronin, huge sales. Stellar Blade, huge sales. Getting a sequel, off the strength of the PlayStation sales. Getting a PC launch, just off the strength of the PlayStation sales. So you had Rise of Ronin, you had Stellar Blade, you had Helldivers Part 2, you had The Last of Us Part 2, you have MLB The Show, but it ain't Bloodborne Part 2. It's not The Last of Us Factions. And therefore, I'm going to throw a bitch fit on where the games are. It's like, man, get the fuck out of here. Concord, again, it's okay that it does because you saw very early gameplay, and it's okay that it does. To me, it looked like Overwatch. It looks like Overwatch. Did we get when is Concord coming out? It's got a beta coming out, right? How about at that point we judge it? How about we all play it at a beta, and then we just judge it? So that's your problem. The problem isn't Sony. Again, Sony's putting out games. There's a game called Black Myth Wukong that's coming out. There's another game called Silent Hill that's coming out. It is. These games are coming out. This is what it is. And One Trick Pony. Well, again, I don't know how they could be port begging. How are they port begging when Phil Spencer, who's in charge over there, said the games are coming? I don't see the port begging. That's like the ice cream man telling me that the ice cream truck is coming down my street. I'm not begging for his ice cream. He told me the ice cream was coming. Yes, you have Star Wars Outlaws. You have Astrobot. You have Silent. Look at all the games that he just named. You are getting the Lego game? I thought about getting the Lego game, but I personally just love to hear the fanboys crying. And you know who they are because they're like, Sony needs to respond. Sony needs a roadmap. Sony's got a roadmap. They told see, this is what I keep telling people. Even though Herman Holtz came out and said, we're not going to put games, tempo franchises on PC day and date. These guys still came out and they're like, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. Because they've built podcasts on saying this, and now they got nowhere else to go. Herman Holtz cut them off at the pass. So even though Sony was honest with them, and this is why I said before, if I was in charge, you would hate me. You would hate me because I wouldn't give you shit because you don't appreciate it. You don't appreciate it. I was about the fanboys. You don't appreciate it. Because you're all about if you're all about the console war, you're all about I got nothing to talk about. You had a fanboy tell you this. Sony's making my job harder by not talking. That's where they are. Sony needs to respond to Microsoft. They already have. They're outselling them 3-1, and they responded when Microsoft said, "Can we have some dev kits, please? So we can put our games on your platform." There's Sony's response. Crocodiles don't negotiate with cattle. They take them under the water and they have their meal. Sony is the crocodile here. Microsoft is the wildebeest. Yeah, David Jaffe did say keep crying. Yeah, I agree. Mike Ybarra was like, hey, look, the emotional stuff is done. It's over. The problem isn't what Microsoft and Sony are doing because they're obviously, you saw Sony. See, again, what did the fanboys do when the financials came out? What did they do? They did podcasts being fanboys. Ha 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 ha. And look at what Sony's doing. Ha ha ha. They are selling well. Ha ha ha. Yes, which means they're doing the right things. That's what it means. But I'm not getting what I want. And guess what? I guess as a consumer, that's okay. But it still makes you you still look like a bitch when you complain. You look like a bitch when you complain because you're getting everything that you just asked for. I mean, the first 6 months or first 5 months of the year, Sony has always come out with games. They go silent in the summertime because God forbid you go outside and actually touch grass and swim and exercise and do family activities like normal people. But that's not helping the console war, is it? Is it? No, it's not. Yes, I'm getting Madden. I'm getting the college football game. I'm getting Star Wars. I'm getting Silent Hill. I'm getting Black Myth Wukong. That alone, that is what, 5 games I just named? I'm going to play the Concord demo. So, again, 6, 7 games I just named. 6 or 7 games I just named. Oh, also with Resident Evil 4, I got to the church. And then a bunch of those people came after me with pitchforks. So, they really don't like me in that game because they keep trying to come after me with their pitchforks. So, Shuhei is gone. They want to appease. They don't want to appease PC. They are literally saying, if you want our games, you're going to do what we say. That's not appeasement. That's not appeasement. And in order to play the games the same way as you play on your PlayStation, if you have a pretty decent TV, you're going to be spending, like Mark Cerny kind of mocked those guys in his article. You're going to have to spend about, $1,400 to $1,800. But these guys simply are, and look, as soon as they say Sony needs to respond, that's a fanboy. Because the response has been, yeah, we'll give you dev kits so you can put your games on our console because your console failed. That's the response. Power moves in silence. Power moves in silence, but you see it all the time. Well, Sony needs to give us a roadmap. They already said what they're going to say this year about their games. No more tentpole updates till 2025. What the fuck do you not understand? Oh, you got a podcast and you got to get your people to watch you, and you got nothing to fanboy about. Nothing to fanboy about. And that's what's happened. And this is what I've always thought would happen. The cream rises to the top. The soot goes down to the bottom. And these guys are soot. They're soot. I mean, everything that has come out from the leaking of the PS5 Pro to, what the PS5 Pro is allegedly going to be able to do. Oh, well, Sony needs to tell us. They don't have to tell you nothing. They don't have to tell you nothing, because when they do that, when they tell you, you're going to go buy it because you got to talk about it. They know that too. I know it. How you going to look with this new console coming out, new tech in it, and then try to do a podcast and say, well, yeah, I know they got a new console out, but I'm not going to buy it. They are going to be the first in line. They will be sitting there online trying to go ahead and trying to buy the damn thing. And then when they can't get it, they're going to be like, it's a joke, it's a joke. That's what they're going to do, right? Now, Microsoft is selling a console for, I think, $600 to $800. It was something like that. I don't know what the cost is. You really think the PS5 Pro is going to cost $499? Bitch, please. You better get it ready. You better get it ready. So you just better be ready to come up with $799. Just get it ready. You better get ready to start paying more for games. Just get ready. Because that's going to happen too. And don't be shocked if when Rockstar announces the release date and price of Grand Theft Auto that you see 99.99 USD. Oh, you're going to be screaming then. There ain't going to be no showcase. There's nothing to talk. I mean, look, because Sony had done a showcase similar to Microsoft, shown Silent Hill, shown a quick Silent Hill thing, then did a thing behind it. They did something, didn't they, like that? They showed something. They could have done that. They could have showed Black Myth Wukong. They could have shown Phantom Blade. They could have set all that up, then showed you Astro, then showed you the Lego game, then showed, again, yes, they could have done that. But what's the point of doing that and wasting resources to do that when somebody else is going to do it for you? You all would make lousy business guys because you're all about the emotional moment and not about the factual future. You all would just be shitty businessmen. Just admit it. You're going to be shitty businessmen because how could you not be? You can't tell a company that's making record profits nothing. What can you say? Well, I need to know more. You don't. You don't need it. You know too much already. Wu Chain, Fallen Feathers. Yeah, you're getting that game. You're getting Expedition 33. You're getting Doom. Okay, you're getting a whole lot. So the series is $599, $600 plus tax. Yeah, get it ready. That's minimum. You will be paying it minimum that much for your PS5 Pro. Seriously, what the hell? The showcase for the reveal, Sony know what they're doing. Well, that's it. I don't think they're doing a showcase, because even if they did the showcase, and what if they do a showcase but they don't show Wolverine? Well, we didn't get to see Wolverine. I can't. That's what these fanboys are going to say. Like I said, fuck these fanboys. I'm serious. Seriously. Well, we didn't get to see. Name it. That was the whole thing. Wanted to see Concord Sword, it's trash. We need to see Outlaws. See it, oh, it's trash. And that's the way these guys are, because it's about, I got to talk about, so it's all over their faces. All over their faces. Summer Game Fest is fine. Yeah, it's exactly what it needed to be. Every game that they were showing came out this year. All of them had release dates. And then people they criticize how come there's no indie dev support. You get a shit ton of indies at the Summer Game Fest, and what do? Complain that there's too many damn indies. You see what I'm saying? You're never gonna make them happy, so why give them anything? That's what Sony's doing. You're never gonna be happy, like Jeff Grubb said. You're gonna complain about what they show because what they show isn't gonna be what you want to see. You see, if they showed you Wolverine, you're gonna say it looks like trash. Then if they showed you, then it's like, okay, it looks like trash and there's no gameplay. And to prove it, all I have to do is give you to people like, I don't know, J-Tech, who was saying that the Star Wars game just a few months ago, quote, looked like trash. His words, not mine. Only to see the updated beta version of that game and then say, oh, it looks good. Yeah, duh. Duh. The emotional reaction. That's what you saw. Not the facts, which are the game is still in a creative mode. I dare somebody, after I get done talking, to go on to Disney Plus or whatever, go to Avengers, the 2012 Avengers, the very first one, and look at the alpha build of Thanos. Look at that alpha build of Thanos. I dare you to look at it. Go ahead and look at it. Be a boy. Grab your nuts. Go look at it. Then look at how he looks in Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1 when he's in it. Look at that build, which is a later alpha build of him with a voice this time. So it's a later alpha. Then look at him in Avengers, and I think he's in. Then next time you see him is in Infinity War. Look at him from that point to that point. Then look at him again in. Look at him again in not Infinity War, but Endgame. So you get a completed look at what something looks like from alpha to beta to alpha, late alpha, beta, late beta to final product. In Endgame, it looked like he was on the friggin' screen. And he wasn't. It was a guy standing there with a stick at his back that reached about 12 feet. And that's why the characters looked like they were looking at Thanos. But again, I got told that the Star Wars trailer was CGI. No, it was not. We saw gameplay, and that's when people are like, she's ugly, it looks like trash, it doesn't look good. That's what, I didn't say that. I defended it and said, dude, it's early gameplay. Why are you even saying this shit? Oh, because you're a fanboy and you want people to listen. I get it. Look, let me make this clear. You all listen, you're grown-ass men and women. You listen to who you want to listen to. But then why are you surprised when they flip-flop around? Because Star Wars look like trash, now it looks great. Oh, I can't believe Assassin's Creed and what they did. Same guys are like, well, now that we done seen this gameplay and some of that shit look photorealistic, and again, you all saw it too. Now all of a sudden those guys shut their damn mouths, didn't they? They're not talking about it anymore. They're not. No. I will not tone down the language. All right, fine. I'll tone it down because I'm almost finished. So two things can be correct at the same time. The gamers are happy. I've not talked to somebody in the PlayStation community that actually games that is mad at, that is disappointed. Now, everybody that I have listened to that is disappointed are fanboys. These are the guys and gals that will tell you that something is trash, even though, again, you don't know what the corn pudding tastes like until you taste the corn pudding. But they will tell you, I don't need to talk about or eat the corn pudding to know it doesn't taste good. I'm getting Assassin's Creed because I've gotten all the Assassin's Creed. Well, not maybe all of them, but I have pretty much finished all of them. Even Rogue, which I know hardly nobody played Rogue. But that's a good Assassin's Creed game. This new one that's out, Mirage, is just kind of, I'm still used to the old, well, not the old, the newer way, how they made it open world and stuff like that. This is okay. I just don't like the fighting style. Well, I am, Mary. I'm more worried about how it's going to play. Is it going to play like the open world ones, or is it going to play like Mirage? You see what I'm saying? I wanted to play more like Origins and Odyssey. I think Odyssey for me, the way the game plays, I like the setting of Origins more, it being in Africa, because Egypt's in Africa. If you all don't know that, for all you all who don't know geography. But I like the gameplay in Odyssey more. Lucius Guy, don't be surprised. Yeah, Phil Spencer said that. So I don't have to worry about what the Xbox community says. Dude, the boss that you go ahead and call Phil Dominus said it's happening. And remember, it was no games to just a few games. Don't get, what did Phil Spencer say? Don't expect anything else. And then Satya Nadella said, screw you, where's my money? That's what he said to Phil Spencer. Like in that movie Goodfellas, Paulie, when Paulie bought the bar, Paulie takes care of it. If Frank can't get a vendor to pay, he calls Paulie. Paulie sends some guys over there. Frank gets his stuff. If Frank can't get some guys out of the club that's messing the club up, here comes Paulie with his boys, right? But now this changes. Now Paulie wants his investment back. Paulie, my kid is sick. Screw you, where's my money? That's what they're saying to Phil Spencer. You know what? We're going to lose our identity. Screw you, where's my money? But, people now have no reason to buy an Xbox. Screw you, where's my money? That's what this is cutthroat business.
Is this Mass Effect?
It is. Indeed, it is Mass Effect. It is always Mass Effect. So they spent the $800 billion, ain't no way. Yeah, you're not gonna, and that's what Mike Ybarra was reiterating today. Microsoft's software, it's its identity now. It's publishing, it's its identity. Not 12T Fox 52C years. Shout out to Jemiah Dixon. I appreciate the 5, brother. But a reason to buy a handheld, I don't know. I'm not going to buy a handheld, but I'm not going to knock it. If that's what people want to buy, that if the market tolerates another handheld, because you got the Switch, you got the Asus ROG, I think that's what it's called, and you have the Steam Deck. So again, so you got 3 handhelds that are pretty, can they survive another one? And I don't know what the price would be. I mean, I can't imagine that. So Lenovo has one too. Okay, I didn't know because I'm not big in that market. I mean, my girlfriend plays Candy Crush. That's that's all I know about handhelds. So this is about getting the money back, and the one way they can recoup their money is to put games on PlayStation. So the people like me try to tell you that, and the end game for Microsoft is to get Game Pass on PlayStation. And again, it'll happen because that's, like Mike Ybarra said, that's where things are trending. When you have some fanboys online talking about, I can't believe Sony doing this or whatever. Yep, you're going to have that. You're going to have that. But if the mass adoption, like Mike Ybarra saying, happens, that's the way a war is. It's called the ruthless calculus of war. So if I have to sacrifice 100 fanboys and 400 people are happy, and 100 out of the 500, 400 are happy, I'll take that all the time. So I want my money. Yeah, I want my money. I mean, can you blame them? I give you $70 billion. I want my money plus points. And that's what you saw with Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer just kind of came, and then people were saying, is this gonna be a slow walk? Are they gonna trickle the information? Or are they gonna rip the Band-Aid off? Remember what the Xbox community was saying. We want clarity on what you're doing. Oh, I say what Phil Spencer said gave you clarity. Okay? That was some, you know what? You sure are a pretty man. That's what you got. And he bent you over and said, this is going to happen. Down the road, you're going to see more of our games on other platforms. Yep, we knew that. Shout out to Porter Rock, who said hashtag the whole slate. Shout out to J-Dub, who said the whole slate. Now we know it's going to be the whole damn slate. And now your fanboy argument now for the ponies, which is why I say F these ponies, is don't buy the games because that's going to help Microsoft fund more games that again, I want to make this clear. This is what they're saying. This is going behind the words. This is the bonus of me being 48. Giving you some knowledge here. They're saying, here's what they're saying. They say, I'm going to tell you what they're saying and then what they mean. What they're saying is that don't buy the games that are coming over because those games will be used. The money will be used so that Microsoft can make more games. Here's what they mean. If you buy these games that Microsoft is putting on the PlayStation platform, I won't have nothing to console war about because they're going to have the games and you're going to be playing them. And then they're going to always be able to say, well, you're playing our games. Well, yeah, dumb shit. They're going to play your games because they're a third-party publisher. The console war is over. It's done. But your fanboy console war in your goddamn head that you've been doing since 2006 is still raging like a sexually transmitted disease that comes out of your damn mouth. It's done. It's over with. FitFun's Perfect Dark development, I'm buying them. Can't get nothing like that in place. Yeah, they have. Yeah, it's the Tomb Raider is just like Perfect Dark. It is just like Perfect Dark. She even moves the same. There's just one game. Well, yeah. If you think that you won't, I said it wouldn't shock me if you see Ratchet and Clank on the Switch. That game would sell well on Switch. Sony has cut a deal with Nintendo to make a Zelda movie. You want to be in business with Nintendo. You can't beat Nintendo in Japan. They can't do it. You're not going to overtake them. So you might as well put IP out there. And again, publishing is where the money is. Sony wants to be a publisher. That's why they said best place to play it, publish your games. That's why they say that now. Well, Xbox, in my opinion, is going to leave consoles behind. I do believe this is the last Xbox. I like the look of that white Xbox. I think that looks smooth. I ain't getting it though, but it was tempting when I saw it. I'm like, oh, that actually looks pretty cool. I bet you J-Dub gets it because he's a collector. He gets everything. I'll ask him tonight. We don't want PlayStation first party and Switch. That's fanboy talk. You shouldn't care. Who cares about it going to Switch? And I mean, it's a Lego game. That's what I don't understand. It's like literally, you would take an Uncharted game that's made by a third party. You would play that. I mean, you don't have to buy the Lego game. That's how you send your message. Just don't buy it. Sony name on Steam is Sony Publishing. Yeah, and that's how it starts. Yeah, and what are you going to do about it? See? You can't, I mean, the only thing you can do about it is not be in the ecosystem anymore, and that's fine. I literally just sat here and said, even Mark Cerny mocked Linus of Tech Tips. You're going to have to spend $1,400 to $1,500 on your PC. Oh, that doesn't include you hooking it up to a monitor that's going to cost you about another $600. Am I getting Concord? Yes, I'm going to get Concord. Because I make up my own mind on my games. If I don't like it, I'll tell you. I mean, I didn't like Helldivers 2 because I was playing it. I was just getting swamped. I'm like, okay, you do have to play this with other people. Then I found some other people to play with. And it was just, I had a ball. Like, I had a ball. I couldn't believe what I was playing. So, and it's still fun to play. You get to call in the B2 and get one-man army. Lego Uncharted Adventures and Lego The Last of Us. Well, I think you could get a Lego Ratchet and Clank game. You could. I mean, why would that be an issue? What's wrong with? I mean, you have a Lego Batman game. You have Lego Star Wars. So you don't care about that. So why do you care so much about Sony working with Lego? If Warner Brothers did it, Warner Brother Games worked with them. Why is there an issue? Okay, Warner Brothers did a Batman. Okay, over there, there's Lego Star Wars, so it's okay for Disney and Warner Brothers to go to okay Lego games, but for Sony, it's I can't. No. A Lego Mass Effect would be so much fun. So it would be fun. You're mocking the Lego game, but you're going to go buy Astro. You make no sense. You make no sense at all. PS gamers buying Xbox games funds more games on Xbox. Yeah, it plays it because they're a third-party publisher. You had no problem going out and buying Final Fantasy VII from a third-party publisher. See, Corey's right. You all, these guys who are saying this are fanboys because the gamers know if you buy more, you're going to get more. That's the way it works. It's called capitalism. Well, yeah, we know Nintendo is going to come out with another SKU. There's a Lego Forza. Oh, I didn't know that. But again, why not do business with Lego? That's what I don't understand. I mean, you all act like, this is terrible. I thought that game looked cute. And you have co-op if you want to play. And you get to play as a black dude. And I told you I still think you go to the beginning of Forbidden West. I still think that brother hit it from behind in those bushes over there. I mean, I can hope so. But yeah, you get the co-op or do couch co-op, whatever it's called. That's fine. What are they going to do? Not platinum the game? Isn't that what these guys do? They're real gamers because they platinum games. Don't know what to do with the titty if it smacked them on Tuesday, but they know how to platinum games. Sony owns the publishing rights to Lego Horizon. Why port it? Because maybe that's the deal they made with Lego. Okay, Lego could have came to them and said, we'd love to make a Horizon game, but we would also like for it to come out on the Switch. Is this something that you all would look into? And I'm sure Sony just said, well, build us a demo. We'll go talk to Nintendo because they've opened the door with Nintendo with the Zelda movie, which you will probably go see. So that's what I don't understand. I mean, Sony makes movies, TV shows, and they make video games. Nintendo is just getting into movie. Well, they've had a Mario movie, a couple of Mario movies. They've done well. So now they're going on with Zelda, which is a big old adventure game. Don't want PlayStation to go third party. They've been third party for a long time. Like King Thrash said, Sony's always put games on PC, so what are you talking about? They've already went third party with PC. Now they're just doing time releases, so that's what they're going to do. And no, it's not. It's okay to say you don't want something as a consumer. That's fine. But then I don't want to see you playing. I don't personally want to see you playing any more PlayStation games because they've already been putting games on PC already. They were doing that back in the day. I mean, I could pull up a bunch of Sony PC games if you want me to. It's going to hurt console sales. It will not hurt console sales. They've been putting games on PC for what, 2.5 years? Is their console not selling? Yes, they still have a very successful console. So it's not hurting console sales. Now, if they go day and date, that may hurt their console sales. That much could be true. But they're not doing that, are they? Because Herman Holt said they're not going to do it. He's a friggin' CEO, and what he wants is going to go. CEOs are pretty damn powerful. So Phil Spencer is right about exclusivity because they weren't going to. The sacrifice that they made buying these publishing companies was they were no longer going to be hunting exclusivity down. That's it. So that's what's happened. Again, what I see is that the companies have moved forward. The gamers have moved forward. The fanboys are sitting there with a banjo playing Fast Car by Tracy Chapman. And what's she saying in that song? We got to make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. So, well, again, and I simply said if you go full PC, which is your personal right, you better bend over and get your $1,400 ready. So go do that. I agree. Get you a 4070, 12 to 16 gigabytes. Get you some fast memory. That right there alone gonna cost you about $799. Oh, you still haven't put anything in your PC yet. You still gotta buy a CPU. You still gotta buy that very fast SSD. You still have to buy a place to display the games. You still have to buy a motherboard that's 2.1. I mean, I can go on and on and on about this shit. So I mean, but I'm all about going ahead and buying gaming on. I've got how many PC games? Let me look at my little window here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let me go here. Let me get rid of that. All right, so I've got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, Hellblade 2, Quantum Break, and Starfield. And I've got Microsoft Flight Sim just in the queue. That's what I got. All right, that's what I got, and I'm waiting on my new joystick or HOTAS to come in. So I'm a good. I'm like a fat boy at Christmas time with a big old orange and white cake in front of him. Shout out to all the fat boys that like cake. Getting young gamers to buy in is important. Yeah, again, I know that. You know that. Sony and Nintendo know that. These fanboys don't care about that. They're going to say things like they'll say things like, well, they don't drive the market. They're the future. No different than when I went and saw the Star Wars movie, 25-year anniversary. Yes, I was an adult. I was in the theater. A friend of mine that went with me was in the theater. His friend was there. We three adults were sitting there. But sitting in between me and David was his 7-year-old son, who he told, your grandfather, my father, brought me to a movie theater just like this to watch this 20 plus years ago, passing it down to the next generation. Well, yeah, it's not hurting console sales. Like I said before, yeah, I'm not putting that narrative out. I think it could hurt them if they went day and date. But 2 years? Are you kidding me? I mean, seriously, 2 years? 2 years. September. Well, I mean, I'll be playing Madden and college football in September. Do I remember when the first Star Wars came out? Barely can remember that. I just remember picking my dad up from Gold Circle. You rest in peace to my father. And you all call Gold Circle Target now. My mom putting me and my brother in the car on Friday night, picking my dad up, and then my dad driving the car home. He turned on the radio station that had a guy named Wolfman Jack on there, and Wolfman Jack was back in his home studio or whatever you want to call it at the radio station, and he had just seen Star Wars Wednesday night, and he was just going on and on about it. Oh, you got to see it. But Star Wars did not open up worldwide like it does now. It opens up worldwide, nationwide. They didn't do that because they thought the movie was going to flop. I can tell you that much. TCMF said Indiana Jones. Well, again, so did Hip Hop Gamer. Okay, that's fine. He said it too. Does that make it legit now because a white guy from Canada said it versus a black man from New York? I mean, I mean, hip hop gamer, people give him a lot of flack, but his information has been spot on. So he said Indiana Jones, Halo, Starfield. I mean, I put that up what he said. Exclusives don't matter. They don't matter to Microsoft because Microsoft is a third-party publisher now. So why would an exclusive title even matter anymore to them? So Revenge of the Sith is in your top 3. Yeah, it's a very good movie. Very good. I mean, to me, all of them have been good. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith, the writing was very good. Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, the Andor series. I do like the Acolyte so far. So again, I'm fine with Star Wars. But I have said before, I said this on a panel the other day with AB Media and some other people. If you grew up in 1970, if you grew up from watching Star Wars from 77 to 83, which is the original trilogy, that's Star Wars New Hope, that is Empire Strikes Back and Jedi, the Star Wars that you're seeing right now, physically seeing right now, isn't for you. It is for your kids to watch. So again, the next generation of Star Wars moviegoers, that's who they're going to see. And again, I don't know why grown-ass men get upset when something is targeting kids. I think it's because my theory or hypothesis is that it's because they want, they still want different things. But it's just like, dude, this is no longer your Star Wars. So just go take your kids and enjoy being with your sons and daughters. So going forward, they'll be less important. They'll still be important to Sony and Nintendo. But Microsoft is a third-party publisher. They're not important to them anymore. If you're a third party, you got to get everything out. You got to get your stuff out on multiple platforms. Like when the George Foreman grill came out. I mean, you could buy the George Foreman grill at Walmart. You could buy it at Target. You could buy it everywhere. Okay? You could buy it everywhere. Bed Bath and Beyond. You could buy the George Foreman everywhere because they had to saturate the market. That's just the way this works. Like, well, we're only going to sell it over here. That wasn't nothing like that. So, yeah, Empire Strikes Back and Rogue One are arguably two of the best Star Wars movies I've seen. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back, I mean, I do remember seeing that in the theater. I still remember what Anakin told Luke on that bridge. So, I mean, the whole theater gasped. That's what I remember. The whole theater just gasped when Anakin said it, when Darth Vader said that to Luke. So, shout out to Liquid Data. You love 70s and 80s movies. Yeah, I mean, there's some good 80s movies. There's a movie called Blue Thunder. There's a movie called Firefox. I think you all should watch. I think you guys would like those movies.
I love late 70s and 80s movies.
Yeah. And I like 70s and 80s music too. That's why my favorite Grand Theft Auto is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Because I grew up in the 80s. So that music that you're hearing, that's what we had on our radios. The Hall & Oates and all that kind of stuff. We were listening to that. I remember those songs being on the radio. And now, when I was listening to it's not even throwback anymore. It's when I listen to a classic radio station, now all the stuff that I liked in the 80s is on there like, yep, I'm old. So, never got into Black Dynamite. But yeah, that's fine. So just remember, guys, in closing, two things can be right at the same time. And yes, while the fanboys are pissed off, the gamers are happy. And I think Sony would much rather have happy gamers than happy fanboys. Okay? Microsoft had a good showcase. Okay? Arguably, people were saying it was the best they've ever done, but they showed a bunch of games that are going to be on all the platforms, right? 50% of what they show will be on PlayStation. 100% of what they showed is going to be on PC. That's the truth. I'm not hating on the showcase. That's the truth. How can what am I doing? Why would I lie about that? Well, you saying it's going to be on, it diminishes it. How? No matter what I say, it's going to be on those platforms. There's nothing to diminish. I mean, that's what cracks me up about these guys, but they're fanboys. And you know they're fanboys because they're telling you not to buy things because what they really mean is don't buy it because they're going to be lauded over my head in the console war. And again, like I said, they're just making shit up because the console war is over. It's over. Shout out to the Vinzer for the sub. I appreciate you, brother. You don't want Sony to go third party. Again, they're already there. You missed the train, my friend. The bus already went down the street. The subway's already in Manhattan and you still in Queens. They're already there. They just did it differently. They're subjugating the PC community. Like, oh, you're going to sign up for Plus if you want to, or whatever they call it, PSN if you want to play our games. But what about the 70 countries that can't play? The hell with the 70 countries that can't play. If you want to play, you're going to sign up. This ain't got nothing to do with the 70. I saw an article today, PlayStation's PC, the way they're doing PC, means they're no longer for the gamers. I'm like, yeah. And so what? PlayStation makes a product that the PC community wants and they need to have. And because they drive the market, okay? The person who has the gold makes the rules. I mean, I don't know how old you guys are. I really don't because, again, you all come across as entitled as hell. Like, hey, look, they should just put the games on PC because that's where a lot of people are. Yes, and that's what they're doing, except you're going to be the bitch. That's just where you're going to be at in their pecking order. Their console's more important. Shout out to Curse Kane for the sub. Yeah, they're the market leader. You're not going to dictate to the market leader what they do. And not only are they the market leader, they're making good money. So, I mean, again, it's stupid at this point. Stupid. But all right then, guys, I'm going to jump on off here. I'll be on 60 frames of lag in like another 45 minutes. So, make sure you go over there and give Porter Rock a like and a sub. And we'll just continue the conversation over there because we're going to be talking about the same stuff as far as the press conference and talking about what Phil Spencer said and all that kind of stuff. I just wanted you to hear it from me over here because I generally have to get up at 5:15 in the morning. I leave that podcast about 45 minutes to an hour in. So appreciate everybody coming by here. Make sure you just follow me over there. That's where I'll be. Literally, I'll be in the chat about 8:15. And make sure you leave a like here and a share and a like and share for Porter Rock.